Oh, good morning. Day 152. COP26 has come to Glasgow, and we're absolutely delighted to be hosting the Youth Hub here at Strath Union. It's been and continues to be many moving parts here, and there's so many amazing partners, and so delighted that we've got Education Scotland and the Daydream team and Edinburgh Napier and SGN and Whitespace and all of our volunteers from student institutions and anybody else that I've missed, joining the other partners, Lego, Ellen MacArthur Foundation. After the pandemic, I'm bound to have missed one, I apologise, but it's a cast of thousands, and this project was really one of my first forays into the world of climate change and how that we can influence policy with our education. I heard someone say this week that everyone's got a superpower, and you have to just find yours and use it to have an impact. And Helena, she's not even in the room, and I'm going to shout out to her, it's outrageous. Helena showed me my superpower was about the young people that I work with and how we can use creativity to have an impact in the fight against climate change. And we started with this project, and really it was Lindsay's idea, so I'm going to blame Lindsay. If it all goes wrong, it's on you, Lindsay Morgan from Edinburgh Napier University. But I'm absolutely delighted to introduce Inter SGN project, and Niamh can tell you a little bit more about it.
As we said, I'm Niamh. I'm a fourth-year product design student, and me and some of my other friends, there was 17s in total, 18s in total, and we did the SGN project. There was bound to be some technical difficulties. Can you click the next one, please, Angus? No? I mean, I can just tell you about this project. Oh, here we are. So last year, during COVID, we were all online. We were all sitting in front of our laptops all day. SGN. We had SGN. They had these 6 empty sites come to us and ask us to repurpose them. We have these main kind of 3 goals that we had to focus through. Is the clicker working? Yep. Okay. Yep. We are still students from Edinburgh Napier, and we're still at COP. Hey. Next one, please. Oh. Yep. So, kind of showing where the sites are. A couple of some Paisley, Irvine, Hamilton, one down in Hoyk. Picture on your left is no. You're right. You're right. This is kind of what we were given. This is what we started with. These derelict, old, grubby sites, and it was, how can we take this and make something amazing out of it, make it so it is these sustainable, fun things for the community, biodiversity, climate change, all the good things that we're trying to achieve here. Yep, so our 3 things: climate change, community, biodiversity, obviously major things. And my plan was the kids from Lego were already going to be in here because those are the 3 things that they're also doing with the Lego workshop. So yeah, this is kind of climate change, community, biodiversity, the 3 main goals throughout the whole project, the whole way through, the whole semester. And yeah, I'll pass you on to Jamie. He's leader of the first group, and they're going to tell you about Aquafarm.
Hello everyone, my name is Jamie. First and foremost, thank you for attending our presentation. My team and I, Jasmine, a product design student, Jennifer, an interior design student.
Hi.
And Hazel, a biology student. A few months ago, as a team, we collaboratively worked on converting a derelict gas holder site located just outside Irvine in North Ayrshire, Scotland. Scotia Gas Network provided us with these sites to regenerate them into something new and something that would increase the social and economic factors in areas of deprivation, additionally providing an increase in biodiversity and integrating the circular economy into our design. Throughout this time, we worked completely online through Microsoft Teams to come up with this concept. In fact, this is the first time we've actually all met in person.
The gas holder site we were given in Irvine was roughly 1 acre and it had several limitations. These included a portion of operational equipment neighbouring the site, a portion of protected ancient woodland and an overall remote location. This left us with 1,600 square metres which we could build on. After weeks of research, including interviewing the local community and the North Ayrshire Sustainability Officer, we decided we wanted to convert these gas holder sites to small vertical farms. Vertical farming is the agricultural practice of growing produce vertically, usually in an indoor controlled environment. Vertical farmers have full control over the elements and conditions that the produce is exposed to.
For the project to be successful and to demonstrate to SGN that investing money into our design would yield substantial amounts of food for the community, as well as providing education and jobs, we needed to make sure that our design followed function. And the best way to learn about how vertical farm functions is to visit one. As lockdown was easing in April, myself and another team member, Rory, who couldn't be here today, but shout out to him, we both went down to Intelligent Growth Solutions to go see how theirs worked. It's based on a vertical farming system that used vertically stacked shelves of plants in control towers. It's an amazing system, but it requires high energy consumption from the grid, meaning there's still an environmental cost on the production of food. Was there a way to have the best of both worlds? Could we combine the tech with a new design that was more sympathetic to the environment we were building on and that could be self-sufficient? From the bedrooms of our different flats across Scotland during lockdown, months of research, endless hours on Microsoft Teams, we tested the viability of different designs and Acrofarm was born. So dramatic. Acrofarm is an indoor controlled environment farm that aims to provide fresh fruit and vegetables in a closed loop system that mimics nature. The fruit and veg are grown hydroponically, which means without soil and using only water, on large vertical growing panels. This allows for higher yields of food on much smaller plots of land. This is just a breakdown of the design. How it works is basically the circular structure is dug 1.75 meters into the ground with 1.75 meters above ground. This is both to insulate the building naturally using the earth, and it also increases the probability of planning permission across the sites as the building intends to blend with its natural surroundings, with a moss roof to improve the biodiversity in the area, as well as eventually producing carbon negative crops as the building itself acts as a carbon sink, whilst the indoor farm runs off renewable wind energy.
The seedlings for each circular farm must be germinated separately. So for this process, we designed seedling huts. As mentioned, our site had a small portion of ancient woodland. This is a diverse habitat which must be protected. Our seedling huts are designed to be placed in this woodland area, ensuring minimal to no damage to the tree roots by raising the structures above the ground. We also propose using the seedling huts to grow native plants. These will be planted in the woodland area to aid the restoration process. Vertical farming is not a new concept, but it is not currently a feasible large-scale alternative to traditional farming. This is due to the cost and the energy consumption. With our concept Acrofarm, we believe we have created a cost-effective and viable vertical farm which utilizes small derelict land sites. This means we can alleviate growing food security pressures and reduce the toll that feeding the population is putting on our planet.
So why Acrofarm? What's the point of farming indoors? Well, we currently farm an equivalent landmass to the total of South America. With the planet warming up and CO2 levels rising, we cannot afford to destroy any more land for food. We use 70% of the Earth's fresh water in farmland irrigation, and agriculture accounts for 20% of fossil fuel usage in the US due to the distance between farm and plate. This highlights the need for more sustainable, localised food production. One of our circular farms can produce 298 times the yield of traditionally farmed land of the same surface area. By chemically removing plant competitors through heavy use of pesticides, we have bred the wilderness out of our food resources. Crops are beginning to fail on seasons with slight abnormalities.
We took 1 acre of derelict land and made a plausible case for its second life with our concept, providing local produce to Ayrshire with very few food miles, no chemical runoffs, no additional chemicals put into people's bodies, and new employment opportunities, with a far greater crop yield through farms that carbon capture, But what if we didn't stop at one site? What if every derelict site across Scotland, across the UK, could be turned into small farms that run off renewables and feed communities? We are just a group of students that worked in our bedrooms during lockdown, dreaming of a different future for our planet. And we ended up at COP26 here, speaking of this idea. We hope you enjoyed our presentation, and feel free to come have a chat with us if you have any questions. Thank you.
Is the clicker working? Yeah. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Erin, and this is Emily, and we are honoured to be speaking to you on behalf of SGN about our key ideas of how to tackle climate change. Before we begin, we would like to hopefully play you a short video if we don't have any technical issues. Oh, see, there's a technical issue we were talking about. According to environmental scientists, we only have 10 years to save the planet before there is no return. Although many influential people have been warning us for years, the effects of climate change are still very much occurring. Eventually, the world will heal without humans, but at what cost? Ice caps are melting, forests are on fire, animals are becoming extinct. The climate crisis is all around us, and yet we as a species continue to ignore what's right in front of us. This isn't something we can ignore. We must take action before it's too late.
We are the glimmer of hope. We, the younger generation, are responsible for combating climate change effects. We are the ones it will impact. We are the ones who must live with the consequences. No matter what, even implementing small changes can make a big, long-lasting difference. We are the agents of change, the entrepreneurs, the innovators that can be the catalyst for further action in the fight for our planet. We are responsible for mobilizing communities to gain as many people as possible to join the challenge. Why not purchase food from refill stations, grow your own fruit and veg, walk instead of drive, reuse your old plastic bags, donate old clothes, recycle and reduce your food waste, plant trees and save the bees. Small changes to your everyday lifestyle are just a few ways you can help. You can help to stop climate change from becoming catastrophic. We #got on with it. Will you?
Don't worry, we won't go into more of an explanation of what climate change is because I'm sure you all know enough about that by now, but we've got a lot of information to get through today, so let's begin. Our team, Project Phoenix, aims to help meet SGN's objectives through our three-phase design plan: an art gallery, wildlife farm, and refill station. Each part was to be implemented over 3 years in correlation to what is most important to achieve first.
Although our design is a large-scale plan to tackle climate change, there are simple ways in each section that you can adopt yourself to become more sustainable. We would like to highlight quickly that our design is made to help make Hamilton a sustainable community. We took into consideration and address their needs via market research, producing elements that should allow everyone to feel safe, welcomed, and a part of the decision-making process. Each design has also been carefully considered for its budget, partnerships, marketing, and more.
Our first design entailed reconstructing an old gas holder on site and making it into an art gallery with a rooftop garden. The rooftop garden will help biodiversity blossom, while the art gallery allows fellow artists to be inspired. We hope for local artwork to be featured and events to be held within the gallery wherever possible. Repurposing old items is a great way to be sustainable and something you can easily do. The main benefits of the design is that it is accessible to everyone and engages the community. It provides jobs and has opportunities for young people to display their artwork. Our second design, our wildlife farm, will have no public access, allowing the area to be untouched for plants to grow and animals to roam free. Wildflower beds and bee hotels will be implemented to increase biodiversity and provide a home for all surrounding wildlife. Simple things such as planting wildflowers, putting up bird feeders, or adding a bee hotel into your garden are small ways you can implement our idea and help your local wildlife. This design mitigates climate change effects by having community involvement of primary school kids naming the bee hotels.
It serves an educational purpose for teaching the kids how to make them and how they can help save the bees and other insects. And it is an easy way to help house wildlife and boost biodiversity in an urban area.
Finally, our last section, our refill station renewal, will offer the potential for a zero waste community by stopping single-use plastic purchasing. To make this business even more sustainable, we decided it could be constructed from natural resources that would withstand a great many years, as well as having a green rooftop for wildlife to enjoy. Something as simple as reusing your own containers keeps plastic use at bay, reduces waste, and makes for a happier planet. Of course, we do not expect you to build your own refill station. However, you can grow your own produce and purchase from locally owned or refill stores over chains such as Asda's. This design has a great number of benefits, such as employment opportunities and local business partnerships, reducing plastic waste, and being sustainably constructed with long-lasting materials.
We would like to end our presentation today with a quote. Climate change is real. It is happening right now. It is the most urgent threat facing our entire species, and we need to work collectively together and stop procrastinating.
We decided to get on with it. We began our journey of educating ourselves and helping any way we can to lessen the impact of climate change. We hope you will too. Thank you so much for listening, and if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask.
So greetings, everyone. Our team is called Project Gaia, and I'd like to introduce ourselves. My name is Vlad, this is Ben, and this is Logan. We've collaborated with local environmental specialists on this project to maximize the value of the surrounding wildlife and biodiversity. Our site is located in Hoyk, near the Scottish borders. It is roughly 5,000 square meters, and the bottleneck point allowed us to separate into two separate spaces, each with its own unique design.
So for our site, we wanted to create something that not only celebrates Hoyk's social history and landscape, but we also wanted to take it a step further by creating a sculpture that its visitors could use, touch, and connect with. So we wondered to ourselves, what if the landscape could turn into a texture? So we came up with the idea of the Weaving Hills to create a space where people can look up, look down, and see each other, while also creating a healthier and green space to improve the air quality and biodiversity in the community. The hills are made from rammed earth, which is composed of materials such as sand, gravel, clay. Because this is a more sustainable method than using concrete, and there are currently no examples in Scotland or the United Kingdom, the Weaving Hills can serve as a small step towards the future of sustainable building methods. The hills can also encourage people to climb and appreciate the natural environment. The hills, which are composed of 480 steps, can also encourage people to stay fit. In fact, if all 480 steps were stacked vertically, they could even carry you to the top of the London Eye, or in that case, 3/4 of the pyramids of Giza. We hope that this powerful message will inspire its visitors to consider the possible solutions to combat climate change and sustainability while immersing in an environment that celebrates its natural history and beauty. Now, Scotland used to be a leader in environmental change, but we've lost some of our enthusiasm as a result of a dramatic cultural change. And we've came up with a phrase of, we need a can-do attitude. If anyone is interested, we've got a model down there, if anyone wants to ask us any questions.
So the Garden of Reflection is our new concept, which is aiming to improve community well-being while adhering to one of SGN's 5 long-term commitment pillars, biodiversity enhancement. Created to give the illusion of being an enchanted forest where time has stopped. Built from the ground up to benefit the community's mental health and biodiversity, it's made up of 3 parts that work together to create something magical. We wanted visitors to reflect on the tranquil surroundings which were inspired by natural beauty and the golden ratio. The pandemic has heightened global awareness for the need of green infrastructure, prompting governments to construct new green spaces and reimagine existing ones, such as Paris' Champs-Élysées and Edinburgh's George Street. We hope to increase the amount of greenery on SGN's land while also improving air quality for future generations with the help of the Borders Forest Trust by planting a variety of wildflowers that are beneficial to bees, butterflies, and insects. We hope we have been intrigued by the idea of the rainbow forest since the beginning and finally settled on how to achieve this. To begin, we plan to add a variety of trees to our garden of reflection, which includes a single cherry blossom tree in the center, several local fruit-bearing trees around the perimeter, and a variety of other trees with varying leaf patterns. Second, we chose to play with the phrase garden of reflection to not only stimulate thought, but also to reflect sunlight and create an array of visible colored light in the surrounding area. This may serve no other purpose than to provide each and every visitor with a whimsical and memorable experience.
The plan from the go was sustainable and renewable energy. So why not make use of what we had at our disposal, which was the river TV a stone throws away. The use of a small hydro turbine was the answer, enough to power our site and possibly over time as a form of revenue. This turbine was a plan to make Hawick one of the first sustainable towns in Scotland, and in time, hopefully Scotland could be also. How cool does that sound? Scotland, one of the first, along with others, powered with renewable, sustainable, clean energy for all. And it's possible. Do you know who can make it possible? Everyone in this room, all the younger generations growing up with lots of aspirations and dreams. They guys are the ones that can help push for a sustainable Scotland and hopefully a sustainable world. Many thanks for your time.
On behalf of Project Gaia, thank you. I will just give Ruth a quick second. We're good? Okay, cool. I am here on behalf of Team 7. We called ourselves Our Future in Progress, being the younger generation. Our site, 125 acres, the equivalent of 83 football fields. Just outside of Airdrie, Glenmavis. So this massive site, you can see on the GIF when it zooms in, there's kind of the active gas site in the middle, and we had everywhere else to design around it. We created a little video just to show you how our site is going to work.
What I want to kind of think about really is, I've got a friend of mine who says, oh, it's the future. And someone else will say, well, no, it's the present. And it's kind of say, the future sometimes feels really far away, but actually this is happening now and you're going to make it reality for this kind of near future. So it's exciting. I loved how your passion and values were kind of snaking its way through the whole presentation and into all the different research that you've done. Very, very inspiring.
For weeks we did our research. We talked to locals, sent out surveys, talked to charities, talked to the community. We see the need for this space, something to bring us back together, something special. Over the past year, humanity has heard one negative narrative after the next. We need to heal. We need to learn to turn our anger into something beautiful. We need art and we need nature. We need to challenge the way society pressures our youth and give the next generation space to grow and space to explore a better way. We think this land is perfect space to launch this. Together with local charities and volunteers, we can create an amazing space for the community to come to. A bubble in the form of multiple hexagon rooms, sustainably made, that endorses the use of the arts as a form of positive expression and output for emotions. A safe space that can support all kinds of issues and aspirations, from mental health support to artistic guidance. A site already has a natural wetland in the making. It's almost already begging us to support that, make use of it, and give a space for the community to reconnect and sync with nature. This is when we can truly reconnect with ourselves and with those around us, to take a second to ourselves and to the planet who so needs us to listen. This wetland bringing a safe and calming entrance to the area that could grow more and more as it comes to life through the years, bringing crop gardens and forests, activity fields in the future that can bring the opportunity to educate even more on the natural and climate positive world and reconnect the community with nature. With this connection, we can truly grow, inspire, and adapt to living in a happier and healthier world.
So that is just a quick, I mean, that is a whole semester's worth of work chucked into 2.5 minutes. So you'll have seen some cameos of Zoom calls and things like that that we participated in, and all the different people we spoke out to. A major one, kind of, if it's speaking to all adults, I'm prepared to speak to children, so there's none of the kind of technical stuff in it. But we actually had the West Lanarkshire Council. They came to me and asked if we would have permission to actually take this and make it a real thing. So that was fun. There was up to 5 million to be won. So they wanted to take that ahead. Sadly, SGM weren't quite ready to give up the site yet, so didn't go ahead, but that's kind of, it is viable. The councils think it's viable. We think it's viable. It's just taking the next step and kind of getting the important higher ups to get involved. How and why now? So we've taken this, no one knows the long-term effects of the pandemic. We're still really in it. Everyone here is wearing masks, you know. All we know is everyone's mental health has plummeted. Everyone's suffered from it. We all sit in front of screens all day now instead of sitting in the office having a coffee. That's what we're missing out on. So we really wanted to aim and affect the young people and target them. Hopefully they won't have the long-term effects of the pandemic. We want a really positive space to learn, to interact, to hopefully everyone will just be a lot more positive and we can come out of the pandemic on a better side. But yeah, that's our idea. Any questions we will be about. But yeah, that was our project with SGN. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much, guys. I'm going to go to those. I can't see over the podium. Come on, everyone, come back up. So I don't know if there's any questions from the field. We're quite happy to take them. But while you're thinking about that, and feel free to throw a hand in the air or just yell at me. I hope you'll agree that these young people obviously found their superpowers as part of this project, and I really wanted to give a special shout out to Niamh, who I really dropped in it. I'm really sorry, Niamh.
I appreciate the apology.
But she's taken up the mantle and really organised a lot of the stuff with the students and the liaison, and Lindsay and the Student Futures team supported the project massively. As I say, usually I throw all these balls in the air and just run away and hope somebody else will catch them. And these guys really did catch them. And SGN have been amazingly supportive as well. We're really thankful for their support. The people I didn't mention earlier were HCI. This is an HCI Housing Construction and Infrastructure Gateway funded project. And they were really generous with their time as well and their money, which was lovely. And we're confident that they could just take a project like this that we didn't know where it was going to go. And that's very unusual for a large funder like that. They knew that we need to embed creativity in this very traditional sector in the skill set. And they came on that journey with us, which we're very grateful for. But really, I just want to thank you guys and for coming along today. I know that I've sprung it on you a little bit and you've really pulled it out of the bag. And I'm delighted that you were able to come and share your story at COP26 with the After the Pandemic Youth Hub at Strathunion. Thanks so much, guys.